各位听众朋友大家好，欢迎收听军事相对论。这一集呢是针对当前最重大的国际事件以色列跟哈马斯冲突所特别制作的内容。我会先简述一下整个事情发生的经过，那接下来我会跟以色列驻台代表尤玛雅女士从以色列的观点来分析当地的一些局势。7号上午呢，位于加萨走廊的哈马斯集团发动了所谓阿克萨风暴行动。那根据英国媒体 BBC 的统计，他们从当地时间早上6点半开始，哈马斯对以色列发射了超过5000枚的火箭。随后哈马斯的人员从陆海空的方式突破加萨走廊的围篱，朝着以色列南部跟加萨走廊以北来发动攻势。一直到我们录音的这个时间为止，以色列死伤人数已经逼近了上千人，那数字还在持续上升当中。但是因为以色列已经调动了后备部队进行反击，也空袭了加萨地区，据报当地也有上百也是逼近于1000人的丧生，或者是受伤。那许多人把这次的冲突联想到50年前的赎罪日战争，那究竟会对以巴跟中东局势造成什么样的影响呢？那未来有可能会如何发展？让我们邀请以色列驻台代表尤玛雅女士来跟我们说明。Representative Maya, thank you for accepting our interview. So we have seen the news. Many Israelis are buying tickets to go back and fight for their country. So do you see that happening in Taiwan?
Yes, we are seeing this movement, this volunteering, and also the obligation to come to Israel, to return to Israel, and to protect all over the world. Mm-hmm. This is not only in Taiwan, but we actually see young people really coming back, stopping their visits, their work, or their student life in other countries, and deciding to come back and be drafted to the military and go and fight in Gaza. Mm-hmm. This is something that is now dozens of thousands of people around the world. We are assisting as much as we can with international flights because there is a large demand now for that. Mm-hmm. In Taiwan specifically, we had few requests for assistance. Most of the people already were able to buy their own tickets and to return. Mm-hmm. We're now having just one last group of people that will leave tonight.
May I ask that, is your family okay in Israel now?
Yeah, thank you for asking. My personal family is okay and they are safe. Mm-hmm. We're, of course, in a very direct communication with them. However, on our circles of friends, mm-hmm. We have, I think, like every house and every family in Israel, we know people who were kidnapped to Gaza. For example, my son, who is 16 years old, his friend from the last summer camp this summer is now kidnapped. He's also 16. The business partner of my husband, she has a nephew who was murdered. He was 22. At a music party where they had 260 people butchered to death. Really, it was a massacre of people. I have a friend that was released only yesterday with her parents after 2.5 days of being hostage, while terror and the Israeli terrorists, Hamas terrorists, and the Israeli security forces were fighting. So I think that I know too many sad stories now behind me.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Me personally, I feel that I have a very important work to do here in Taiwan. I think like all of us diplomats around the world, this is a very important part of our fight and struggle for Israel. Part of it is for the world to know. You know, a lot of the people here in Taiwan, and I've been following the news, have referred to this as another fight between Israel and Palestine. Mm-hmm. But this is really not another fight. And I think that people should be aware of that. This is not about airplanes shooting something or buildings falling apart. Mm-hmm. This is about a planned, orchestrated attack, terrorist attack, that was targeting civilians. Mm-hmm. There were more than 21 villages that the terrorists entered. Thousands of them went from house to house on an early morning, on a Saturday morning, and killing whole families, killing everybody, from shooting the heads of young babies to taking old women in a wheelchair, to raping young women, and really killing thousands of people. We have now 1,000 people dead. We have more than 3,000 in hospitals. Hundreds of them are still in critical condition. And there are more than 150 people who were dragged and now kidnapped and held against their will in Gaza. This is something that's never happened before. Mm-hmm. It's in one day we had more people, Jewish people, who were murdered since the Holocaust. This is something that is never happened before, and it will have to be replied by Israel. Retaliated.
Yes, it is very shocking to everyone. 特别的是以色列的周休2日跟我们台湾不太一样，他们是休周5跟周6。那尤其周6呢，是跟家人团聚的日子，甚至他们不太会使用手机。这也是为什么许多人在事情发生的当下，对周遭发生的事情其实是一无所知的，也没有办法第一时间做出反应。但是我们也对以色列的情报单位抱持着一些怀疑哦。So Israel has fortified the barrier around the Gaza Strip, right? And as far as I know, you also have many surveillance like cameras equipment. So how come no one sees the assault coming?
This is a good question that I think that we will have to look very seriously into. But the mere fact is that we were surprised. Mm-hmm. We did not know, and we were not ready for this type of such a big organized terrorist attack. Mm-hmm. We will definitely go and have a committee and learn from that experience. And there is a lot of learning that we will have to do. And I think that many countries in the world will follow and learn from this very painful experience that we're now facing. But at this moment, we are on day 4, the beginning of day 4 of this war. We are still under attack. Mm-hmm. Yesterday evening, there were still rockets. There were more than 3,500 rockets being targeted, Israeli citizens, cities from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. This is really puts everybody under shelter. This is war that is currently happening in my country. Mm-hmm. So it's too early to think what went wrong. This is now the time for fighting, for unity of all the people. To struggle and to protect ourselves.
以色列的确是没有时间去检讨，那他们现在已经正式对哈马斯宣战，并且解除了一切的限制，要攻进到加萨地区。Now Israel has formally declared war against Hamas. And could you tell us what is Israel's priority and what's the next move?
So what is currently happening, Israel is drafting the military forces. The Israeli military is usually being obligatory service of about 3 years for men and 2 years for women. And this is relatively a small number of people at the age of 18 to 20. And then all the others are in reserve forces. So what we're having now is recruitment of all the reserve forces and the preparation and training before Israel will be able to retaliate. Mm-hmm. Now, the war is exactly as you were saying, is against the terror organization Hamas in Gaza. Mm-hmm. It is not against any other country in our region. This is important because Hamas was not there alone. Mm-hmm. Hamas, the ammunition that he had, the training that he had, somebody had to finance that. Mm-hmm. Somebody had to support this. This is Iran that was standing behind. And yet Israel does not want to have any other power in the region, not Hezbollah, not Lebanon or Syria or Iran being involved in this war. This is a very focused war against Hamas and Gaza. And yes, the number one, will be, of course, the hostage situation. It's a very serious one. They have young women, they have babies, they took children without their parents, they took elderly, disabled people, everyone. So this is something very serious we will have to have a solution to. Mm-hmm. And the second is really to regain the security for Israeli citizens. We not only have the right to defend ourselves, it's also our duty. It's the duty to protect our citizen and our territory, and we can't allow that this will happen again in the future.
Mm-hmm. So may I ask that is your ultimate goal is to eliminate Hamas?
There have not yet been the exact statements by our prime minister. Again, this is only day 4. It's just the beginning. We are now preparing for a long retaliation. It will take time. This will not be a short round like previously, because this is a very different war that is being forced on Israel. We did not choose it. We did not want it. But we have to protect ourselves. We will have to adjust according to the situation on the ground. Let's continue to be in touch of this and talk.
OK， 我这边也要表达一下不同的意见哦。Please allow me to ask a sharp question. Many Palestinian supporters, they said it's time to end occupation. It was not an attack, but a response to colonization. So how do you respond to those words?
Israel withdrew from Gaza Strip many years ago. There has been no control whatsoever of Israel on Gaza Strip since 2015. We're talking now about 20 years, almost. The only ruler responsible in Gaza Strip has been Hamas, an other terrorist organization. So there is no occupation in the Gaza Strip. Actually, when Israel left, we left with villages, with nice houses. We left everything behind, agriculture fields, even some economic factories. There could have been another way to handle this. There could have been peace between Gaza Strip, the civilians, and Israel, because we have left. There was no occupation now for many years. And still, Hamas is declaring very specifically in their writing that they are not recognizing Israel as a country. They don't see that we have the right to exist. They are believing that they should kill every Jew that is living. And as long as they are seeing it like this, there is no way. It's not about the country. It's a much deeper conflict than that.
I remember you also allowed international finance to help the people in the Gaza Strip, right?
Even more so, we really took seriously the economic situation in Gaza. We have only recently tried to work on gas for Gaza, Gaza Marine, some long-term infrastructure projects that will really benefit the economic there. And then this attack came. Gaza has been open also through Egypt. There has been an open border between Egypt and Gaza. So things have been coming in and out, different products that are needed. So we have really tried as much as possible. Again, it is a terrorist organization that is ruling this place. So there's a lot of UN agencies. There are a lot of international NGOs. We know them. We're trying to support their work, again, because we really believe that they are really assisting the population. And this is important. The one who is not assisting the population is actually Hamas. Because when they're putting ammunition and weapon within civilian concentration, within centers, near mosques, near hospitals, near schools, they're actually treating their own citizens, the Palestinians, as human shields. And this is an extremely complex situation. But again, there was a different ability in the past. When we left, it could have been different. It was a clear choice by Hamas to really continue and fight Israel and to not accept us.
尽管您刚刚已经提到说希望周边国家不要介入，但是包括真主党也对以色列进行炮击。So the attitude of other Islamic countries also worries us. So do you see an abnormal move from like Syria or Iran?
So during the last couple of days, we saw already few events coming from Lebanon, from Hezbollah. We are, of course, retaliated. They were fighting yesterday. We are sending the clear messages that it's not our wish, that we do not want this to be expanded, that this is specifically going against the world-recognized Hamas terror organization, but we will have to protect ourselves. Yes. If other countries or other organizations will attack Israel, we will have to retaliate, and it will be very hard.
以色列非常努力想要跟阿拉伯国家关系正常化，那在几年前呢，已经跟阿拉伯联合大公国签署了亚伯拉罕协定，在近日沙烏地阿拉伯也可能要为了取得美国安全上的支持，也有可能会承认以色列，但这一切都有可能会因为现在的这个举动而发生变数哦。So do you think this attack will affect the relationship between Israel or with Saudi Arabia or the UAE?
I hope not, and I think it's too early to say. The things are moving quickly in our region. I think that the interest that we have for the peace agreement, the peace accords with the UAE are very strong one. They are not disappearing within night. This is something that we both have strong interest for. I think that the interests that are lying between the warming of discussions are also very valid for other countries in the region. So I think that it's too early to say what will be the effect, but I truly hope that the positive trend that we had during the last 3 years of Abraham Accords and peace treaties with these countries will continue. This is really the path to go for the future. You know, I have 2 sons. They are 16 and 13 years old. What I want for them is to live in a peaceful neighborhood in the Middle East, to have quiet and happy life. And this is not what we're having now. So I truly believe that this is something that every mother in the Middle East wants for her children. So it's really up to us to do it and to make this happen.
As far as I know, that UAE has already condemned the Hamas operation, right?
Yes, they did. We had few remarks from the Arab countries in the region, definitely, and we're working closely with them. I think that at the end, there is a lot of strength in the regional countries, and it will be, at the end, part of the solution.
Last question. So how can this war help you?
First of all, this is an amazing question. And, you know, my heart is so sad these days. And yet I keep on being asked from all of our friends here in Taiwan how we can help. And this is really brightening up the day. It's really amazing. I think that we received the support of President Tsai and Foreign Minister Wu, and that was very, very highly appreciated by us as part of the international voice that we heard. And again, this is the beginning. We have many people requesting how they can do. We're gathering now the information about donation and about what is necessary for the villages and for the people who are damaged. We will publish that on our website and in the Facebook page, so people who are interested can go and check on that, and we will try to assist. And if there will be a need in the future, we will definitely know to ask our friends. For example, you know, again, this is only the beginning, but in Israel, for example, people are being called to come and donate blood because there is a need. There could be that there will be another need for medical supplies. We don't know yet. For now, we are well prepared. But again, it's only the beginning. It's not yet the end.
What is your message to the world?
I think that the moral now in Israel is quite low. And I think that the message that we need to hear now is really that we're not alone. That this is a fight against terrorism. And Israel is not the only one that wants to fight terrorism. This is something that many countries in the world know, and they have this intention. And every small action of solidarity with that cause is important one. And Israel will prevail, but it will be a hard one. And we're not alone on this.
Thank you so much, Representative Maya. And we hope that everything will cool down very soon, and best wish to Israel.
Thank you very much. I really hope that we will retain peace and stability soon, and we will be able to talk about happier things.
今天非常感谢由玛雅代表接受我们的访问，我们专访先到这边。我们接下来呢还会针对当地的局势有更多的分析，我们也会持续关注当地情势的发展。我们下一集军事相对论再见，拜拜。